Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm Nikki, the Messy Homesteader. In today's video, we are making Rosemary GLADSTA'R's traditional fire cider. Now, this classic tonic has immune boosting properties out of this world, and it has a really amazing taste. So let's jump right in and get started on this wonderful elixir.
Here are our star ingredients. Apple cider vinegar. We need raw, unpasteurized with the mother, very key. Next, we have our honey, preferably local honey. We also need garlic. I'm using 2 bulbs of garlic. You can chop it or smash it. Horseradish is next on our list. We are using a fresh horseradish root. You can use prepared horseradish if you don't have access to the fresh root. And now we have our onions. I'm using red and yellow onions, but you can use red, yellow, white, or all of them. Your choice. It's your fire cider. And here's our ginger. I'm using 2 hands of about 4 inches long each, but all you need is a 1/4 cup of grated ginger. And we have our rosemary. I'm using about 3 to 5 sprigs of it. And now we need our peppers. I am using 2 jalapenos. Now let's move on to our equipment. We will need a cheese grater. You'll need a jar with a lid. I'm using a mason jar, 16 ounces or a quart. A wide mouth funnel will greatly help you get all the ingredients into your jar. You'll also need 2 measuring cups. You'll need a 1/2 cup and a 1/4 cup, or you can just use your hands if you like to live dangerously like me. And you'll need a sharp cutting knife to chop up all of your ingredients to put in the jar.
Okay, folks, so we have everything that we need to get started with our fire cider. One special note with all of the ingredients here, your apple cider vinegar. You want the apple cider vinegar, also known as ACV, you want it to be raw and unpasteurized, preferably with the mother in it. Now, if you see here, you see I have the mother floating around on the bottom. Looks like a UFO or a very thinly chopped pork chop. That's the mother. Sometimes the mother will look dark brown and cloudy, but it's the mother. So you want raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar with the mother. Okay, so that's really important. So with cold and flu season upon us, like right now, we have to get going on this. It's the first week of October, and fire cider takes 3 to 4 weeks. Some people go 6 weeks, but at least 3 to 4 weeks before it's ready to go. So we really want to get started with this right now. Okay, now I have already made a couple of batches of fire cider. I use the original Rosemary GLADSTA'R's fire starter, not fire starter. No, don't do that. But fire cider, using the recipe in her book, Fire Cider. Okay. Now, if you want to follow along, this is her recipe. And I will have the recipe down below for you so you can get going on your cider like ASAP. If you're following Rosemary GLADSTA'R's original fire cider, those are the ingredients. You see, not a lot of ingredients, but it's always good to start with the base. Start with the original, the traditional, and then you can build on that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the horseradish. Now you see here, I have this humongous horseradish root that I got from my local grocery store. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cut this part off and put this in the ground. You see how it's sprouted already? I'm going to grate this. Now, you might have, horseradish is not always easy to find, but there is prepared horseradish at the grocery stores. It comes, I forget the name of it. It's got blue on it. I'll put a picture up here to show you what it looks like. It's prepared horseradish. You don't want the horseradish with cream because now you're introducing dairy, and dairy, you don't want to ferment dairy in your fire cider. Okay, so I'm going to grate that. Now, what I like about fire cider, it's amazing as a cold and flu remedy. It also boosts circulation and it supports your digestion. So It's an amazing daily tonic. So let's get our horseradish in here. It doesn't matter what order you put this stuff in, just get it in. All right, y'all know I'm messy. It's in my name and my title. It's just get everything in the jar because you're gonna shake it anyway. Horseradish, check. Next up is a half cup of onions. So I'm going to use red onions this time because last time I used, I think I used yellow onions. So now, this is not from my garden. It is organic. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because you want to put the skins in your cider. I'm just going to throw this, the little booty part, I'm going to throw that in my compost bag over there. Okay. So you want to put the skin in, right? Okay. The skin holds flavor. It's medicinal. So keep the skins on not only your onions, but your garlic. You can leave your skins on. It's perfectly okay. It actually adds to whatever you're making. As a matter of fact, when you do your garlic, you're going to use the skins. You see here, the other day I made some honey garlic, and from my other batch of my fire cider, and I keep the skins. Why? Well, you can put the skins in your fire cider, or if you make homemade bone broth, you have your skins, which adds flavor to your bone broth. So don't throw away the skins of your garlic and your onions. So we need a half cup of onions, right? Here we go. There you go. Let me put this here so y'all can see. Boom. Now this, I'm gonna move aside because I'm gonna make like probably 2 or 3 jars of these with different additions. So I'm just gonna move this aside. Now let's move on to our garlic. Let me get a big smasher. You don't have to worry about peeling your garlic. You're gonna put the garlic in your jar, skins and all, okay? Oops. A little strong. Too much force. All right. Yes, you can put the skins. That's gonna go in compost. You can put the skins in here, okay? So, but I am gonna chop up the garlic roughly, just because it's gonna break down faster in the cider. Now we only need a 1/4 cup of garlic, but as I said before, I'm making a couple of batches. So rough cut is all I need. But you see here, the skins and the garlic, that's going in here. It's a 1/4 cup. Done, okay? Move this aside for my next batch. Now it's getting very strong in here, you guys, from the horseradish, the onions, and the garlic. Okay, now for the ginger. Now, if you notice in Miss GLADSTA'R's recipe, she says a 1/4 cup of ginger or more, a 1/2 cup of onions or more, a 1/4 cup of garlic or more. So it's really it's your taste buds. Go as far as you want with this. Maybe start with what she has, and then you can add more or less. But I only need a 1/4 cup of the ginger. Now I'm grating the ginger instead of cutting it, just because I'm just so used to always grating ginger. Now this is organic ginger, so I'm okay leaving the skins on. Leave the skins on your onions, your garlic, and your ginger. Now, I did go to my garden and pull some ginger, and it broke off here as I was cleaning the dirt off. I'm going to use this for the next batch, but if you have fresh ginger, go ahead and throw. I wonder if I could add well, you can do anything you want, but I'm thinking I might add the ginger leaves. I have to think about that. Okay, so we need a 1/4 cup of ginger. Oh, I thought I grated more. You know what? I think I might cut it because it is a lot of grating. Not too much, but wait, quarter cut. I'll make another video of my elderberry fire cider. And then I saw Acres Homestead. I think it was Acres Homestead. She made a batch where she was like, let's make something that tastes really good. So she has some really interesting ingredients. Let me just, you know what? I'm not going to grate anymore because I actually made some of this earlier and I'm a little woohoo. So I pretty much have a quarter cup, but I'm just going to throw this on with the skin for good measure. Plop. All right, let me wash my hands. Okay, and because I made this before and I know how things settle, I'm actually going to add, remember how Rosemary says or more? I'm going to add more onion and more garlic. I was going to be stingy and try to carry it across two batches, but I need this here. So I was watching Mary Nest, her YouTube channel, and she's just so full of information, y'all. Y'all should go check her out. She has a wonderful video that I actually referred to when making this one on fire cider. I've been following her for a couple of years, so that's how I knew about saving the skins. So, and once you make your first batch, just like with cider, when you're making your own cider or kombucha, you start to, you know, tailor it to your own preferences. I'm adding another 4th cup, which is really now a 1/2 cup of garlic. Let's get it in here. I really like garlic. You know what? Because my husband bought a big old bag of garlic from Costco, from Gilroy Ranch, the garlic capital of the world. I'm just going to do all of it. So 2 whole bulbs of garlic. I was going to be, you know, cheap and try to do 1 bulb per jar, but nope. Everything in the jar. All right. You know what? For the rest of this ginger, if you get tired of grating, just chop it. And if you're unsure about the origins of your ginger, then just peel it. Okay. I should have put a pillar in the utensil list, but I rarely peel I almost never peel my ginger. So I'm just going to make just coarse cuts. And obviously, the smaller you make the cuts, the faster that food breaks down, or that herb. So what is this? Now, typically, I wouldn't even care about measuring because I'm messy. I'll just make adjustments the next time. But we have another 1/4 cup. Okay, so basically a 1/2 cup of ginger. So all we have left is our heat with our hot peppers and our apple cider vinegar. So I am using 2 jalapenos. You can use cayenne pepper, habanero. You can use red pepper flakes, cayenne powder, so long as you have heat. That's why it's called fire cider, y'all. So let's get this chopped. Compost. You know what? On second thought, I'm only going to add half of this because I made it too hot before. So I'm going to do half of this. So this is probably like, it's 1 jalapeno. Seeds and skin, y'all. Drop it in. Drop it in. Be careful not to touch your eyes. And I have just leftover ginger. I'm just going to chop it up. Throw it in there. All right. Last thing. Woo, we are done. It really doesn't take a long time, y'all, but you know, I'm filming this and everything. And so, all right. So this is what we got. All we have left to do is to pour our apple cider vinegar. The honey comes later. Don't worry about the honey. So go to my batch. And all you're going to do is pour the apple cider vinegar until it covers the top of your herbs. Now, I like to use a 1-inch headspace. So basically, right where you see the first ridge on the neck, that's where you're going to stop. Like right here. Not there, but right here. We're going to stop right there. Okay? So let's pour. Ooh, I got a mess. Got a mess. All right. Pour. Now, this is the traditional one I'm making for y'all. There we go. All right. Put your lid on. Turn it upside down. Shake. Now, I forgot the rosemary. It was hidden here behind my cheese grater. And your herb, your rosemary, I'm going to add, I don't want too much because for me, rosemary is strong. I'm going to add 3 sprigs, the parents and then the little baby right here. All right, so I'm just going to politely put that on top. Now you're done. Put your lid on, shake it. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm using a plastic lid because you don't want, the vinegar, the acidity to mingle with metal. It doesn't go together, and you can have a chemical reaction. So either use a plastic lid. I got these off of Amazon. They're great. I love them. Or grab some parchment paper. Not this big though. I didn't have time to cut it. And then if you have your metal lid, put the metal lid over the parchment paper. Boom. And then obviously your parchment paper won't be this big, but you get the point. You just don't want the ingredients, especially that vinegar, to touch the metal, okay? Now, the reason why I prefer the plastic lids is because you have to shake this every day. If you have the parchment paper with the metal lid, you can't shake it. You'll have to take everything off and find some kind of stick or spoon or something, and then you get to stir it vigorously, okay? You can use the handle of a wooden utensil or a silicone, and then just push it down like you're canning, and then try to stir it as best you can, okay? This is if you don't have a lid, like a plastic or silicone lid, okay? You're going to place this jar in a dark room. Really, it doesn't have to be in a dark room. You just want it out of direct sunlight. I'm keeping mine on the counter just so I see it every day and I can remember to shake it, right? But you can keep it in the cupboard, a pantry, a closet, anywhere. Just remember to go check on it and shake it every day. If you don't shake it every day, not the end of the world, but better to shake it every day or at least every other day, okay? In case you forget, because life happens. And then you'll keep it there for about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, okay? If you cut the pieces really small, or if you grated everything, it'll probably be done in 3 weeks. But 4 weeks is you have big chunks and stuff like that. 4 weeks is fine. After 4 weeks, you'll take your jar and you're going to strain it, okay? Now, I didn't put the strainer in the at the beginning of the video because I wanted you guys to at least make it. But you'll just pour it in here, strain it. You'll get all the solids out, and then you'll be left with your golden elixir, your tonic. Nikki, how do I take this? Well, you want it for just preventative or maintenance. 1 ounce to 2 ounces a day is fine. If you're new to fire cider, maybe start with a tablespoon or less. Oh, and don't forget, you want to mix it with your honey. So when you pour your cider in your cup, also spoon out some honey or pour some honey in with the cider and mix it in. Believe me, your throat and the lining of your stomach will thank you because it can burn. It's almost like drinking apple cider vinegar, right? So you want to take it with honey. Ideally, if you have local honey, that's great. Or You can watch my video on how to make your own honey garlic right here. You can add that to your shot for an even more potent immune boosting tonic, okay? But you do this every day. It's a tonic. You take it every day, especially during cold and flu season. And then if you want to do it throughout the year just for preventative measures, go ahead and do that. It's perfectly fine. Now, what I like to do with my vinegars and all my niceties, I like to keep them in dark colored bottles. These I got from the dollar store. Just pour your tonic in some kind of jar or bottle and then seal it. Well, put the lid on. Put it in the refrigerator. The reason why I like thin bottles that are easy to pour, because look, do this, easy to pour, versus pouring from a jar where it can get messy and you can spill your precious. I've used these little old dessert cups from Costco or shot glass. Now, fire cider will keep, in your cupboard, your pantry, whatever, unrefrigerated for, I think Rosemary says, for several months. Now, several can mean 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I don't know. So that's up to you. In the refrigerator, it will keep for at least a year. Also add the fire cider. I haven't done it, but you can add the fire cider to salads, to roasted vegetables. There's lots of actually recipes where you can use fire cider. You don't just have to use it as a daily tonic. I haven't done that yet, so that's one reason why I'm making lots of different batches, so I can have my batches for cold and flu season, the medicine part, and then I have batches for food, putting on my salads, dipping bread in, making salad dressings, so all of that. So I want to be able to have this in as many different ways as possible. If you have made this recipe, this fire cider, or any variation of it, please let us know what you used, what you didn't use, how it helped you, if it didn't help you. And please let us know down below in the comments. That's really the place where we get a lot of our learning and information. And don't forget, if you're going to tell us what you use, please, people always ask, how much did you use? So please try to remember the dosage and the frequency, because that's always the most common question people ask. Well, how much did you use and how long did you use it and how did you store it? So with that in mind, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a surgeon general. I'm just me, a mom, homesteader, living her best life. So if you have a whole bunch of questions, I recommend you talk to a healthcare professional, or you can go to Dr. Eric Berg or the Motivational Doc. They have lots of great content for health. But if you know the basic recipe, then you can just go anywhere your heart takes you, or your health. So here's to good health. This is Nikki, the Messy Homesteader. Thank you for hanging out with me. Cheers.